The following episode will contain spoilers. You have been warned.
You're listening to Cinema IRL, the podcast that throws you into the movie and asks the question, what would you do? In Hurry Up Tomorrow, The Weeknd plays, well, The Weeknd. But he's not. He's a fictional version of himself. It's honestly incredibly confusing. Amber and Scott discuss what they would do if they were tied to a bed and set on fire, amongst other strange situations. And now, Cinema IRL.
I wish I could switch places for just one day.
What would you do?
Put yourself in my shoes.
How do we handle this?
What do you do?
Put yourself in my position.
What would you do?
Now it's your turn.
Everybody's burning up the weekend.
I'm surprised we're even doing this episode.
Well, if nothing else, I'm just glad I got to use that intro.
That will be the best part of this entire episode.
I don't know.
I don't even know where to go here. Alrighty, folks, welcome. I'm trying to muster up some energy for this one. Hurry Up Tomorrow. A musician plagued by insomnia is pulled into an odyssey with a stranger who begins to unravel the very core of his existence.
Wait, plagued by insomnia?
Yeah, that's news to me.
What the hell? Where did the insomnia come from?
Yeah, and sometimes these descriptions aren't accurate. So this is where I would usually tell our listeners what happened in the film, but I don't freaking know. I couldn't begin to tell you what happened in this film or what it was about or what to talk about. This was a whole hour and 45 minutes of jibber jabber.
It was a little less jibber jabber for me. There were parts that threw me, but I eventually kind of figured it out. At least enough
share.
Of it.
Do share. You do the movie overview that I normally do.
I mean, basically, the musician, a.k.a. The Weeknd, played by The Weeknd, was touring, doing his thing, and I don't know, he's got some girl that he's got issues with, and she's not calling him back, and you can tell that he is not necessarily in a good place because of it. And he does, I guess he has a throat issue, but that seems like something he can use as an excuse because he's kind of in a bad mental health space. And eventually he makes eyes with this one girl at the concert, and she somehow slips backstage and runs into him. And he's like, hey, let's spend the night together. So they go to the Santa Monica Pier and they ride all the rides and play all the games and go back to the hotel and, I mean, presumably have sex, but we don't know that. And she's like singing in the bathroom, and he had said, don't ever leave me. So she kind of took that to heart, like, I'm not going to leave you. And then he's like, yeah, I might have said that last night, but I got a tour, so. And then she was like, you might need to cancel that first stop. And she bashes him upside the head with a bottle of champagne, knocks his ass out, and ties him up on the bed. And dude has some funky dreams. So he eventually comes to, and he is just completely tied down. And she just wants to talk, and he's like, I do not want to talk to you. F you. And eventually the manager comes knocking and is like, hey, is he in there? She's like, he's not. He's like, I know he is. And so he breaks in. Eventually hears the coming from the other room because he's been tied up and gagged. She and the chick get into a fight. She puts what did she put in his neck?
A piece of glass or something.
Glass or silverware,
wood or something.
Something into
Jabs him in the neck with something.
Into his neck. I should say that we started the movie with her burning down a house.
Yes.
She's burning down the house. So he doesn't want to talk to her, and he's like you can tell she's seeking vulnerability out of him, and he's like, I'm tied up, and you're not going to get, like, this is as vulnerable as you're going to get out of me right now. And then she brings in a giant can of gasoline and pours it all over him, and he all of a sudden says, hey, I might have another level of vulnerable I can do here. So he belts out this song, and she just melts to it and lets him go. And she lights the hotel room on fire, probably to burn the evidence of the fact that she killed the manager. The end is kind of weird because he kind of went out of the hotel room directly to a concert. We're not exactly sure what that's about. If this was just one of those like harrowing experiences that he moved on from. I don't know. The end was weird.
This was all painful. You did manage to make a reasonable explanation of what happened, but it is minus the recurring sequences of what's happening. Is that real? What's going on? Why are they doing that?
Well, the problem was it didn't seem particularly like the dream sequence at first didn't seem like a dream sequence. It felt completely reasonable. And I mean, it's not really a dream sequence. It's I just got knocked the fuck out and I'm in La La Land.
And she
sequence.
wanted to know the truth from him, so you think that maybe something happened with him and the girl, and somehow I thought maybe she was trying to get the truth about that. Anyway, I got nothing here. Normally we'd say, what would you do if you were any of these character shoes? I don't even freaking know, because I don't know what the heck any of them did.
I've got a couple of what would you do's on this one. What would you do if you are Weeknd's manager who comes and you know that he's there because he's tracked the phone, and she's like, no, he's not there.
Well, he busted down the door. I'd probably get hotel security.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking here is like, there's like, if I wasn't going to get hotel security immediately, I definitely would have after I heard the coming from the other room. Like, this is.
Well, I don't know if someone's going to leave if they find their friend in distress, and they're going to be like, I'm going to go and get someone to open the door. I think you're going to do exactly what the manager did, as they were friends, and try to get in there and see what's happening to him. I mean, would you say if that happened to someone you know, you'd be like, I'll be right back?
I don't know. I mean, at this point, you have to assume you are dealing with someone who is highly unstable.
She's unstable, but she's Jenny Ortega, so she is a tiny little person. So you could easily pick her up and swing her around. She is fun size.
Yes, but let me also note something. So I generally have a rule that you don't put your hand on a woman. That said, I'm knocking the bitch out. I'm literally going to knock her unconscious because.
Yeah, there's obviously something shady going on, and she's being deceitful and wouldn't let you in, and then you hear the
and she's
from the other room.
I mean, if she's physically assaulting you, yeah, like there is a point where if you are assaulted, yeah, you
if a girl goes cray on you, you should be able to fight back without someone making a fuss about it.
Yeah, and if you find that she's gone cray on you and she's tied up your friend in the other room.
Your friend / your meal ticket. Yeah.
Yeah. She's getting the right cross. And I'm literally trying to knock her out because that way she doesn't move. I don't want to kill her. I'm not trying to kill her. I just want to actually incapacitate her. And there is no way. Like, she's crazy. She's going to kick and scream and do whatever she can as long as she's awake. So you make her not go awake or not be awake.
Yeah. Okay. What else you got? You're taking the lead on this one because.
Okay. Well, you're the Weeknd, and
Abel. I don't know if he's actually the Weeknd in this movie.
No, it actually says
Abel.
If you look at the credits, it said Weeknd played by Abel. It actually wasn't.
Are you sure it wasn't Abel played by the Weeknd?
100%, because Abel's his real name.
Okay. I mean, he went by Abel in the film. That's what his phone said. Abel. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. I actually double checked that myself because I thought which order it in, but the Abel side was on the same side as Jenny Ortega.
Okay.
So, so you're laying there. Well, let's just start with the fact that you wake up and you are tied up. You are not.
Yeah, the Weeknd is on the same side as Jenny Ortega. So the Weeknd
No.
played Abel.
Abel was on the same side as Jenny Ortega.
Huh. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
So you wake up, you've tried to move, you can't move. Mm-hmm. And she comes in and she's like, I want to talk. What would you do?
Well, I think in any situation where I do not have the upper hand and I am somehow restrained, I think at that point you have to go into butt kissing mode to get yourself out of that situation. I don't think you get anywhere when you're demanding or resistant or insulting. I think you have to, at that point, play the game and play the long game in trying to get out of that situation and get untied.
But weirdly, people do. They fight in situations where they are completely
At a disadvantage,
I mean, it's not the upper hand. It's like they have
no hand.
the other. Yeah, they literally have no hand. You're yes. You're like, oh, you want to talk? Let's talk, because you're not getting untied by yelling "fuck you."
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah, and then okay, so you've been belligerent, and she's gotten a can of gasoline and splattered it all over you. I mean,
okay, I'm not even going to mention. Okay, this is where I'm going to mention. Right after I say I'm not going to mention, that gasoline on his face never moved. When he sang that entire song, I don't know what kind of gel they sprayed on his face to simulate the appearance of droplets of gasoline, but none of those droplets moved through the entire song that were perched on his face and his chin and his cheek. Not one moved the entire time. It was so distracting. Anyway, go ahead.
yeah, it was kind of weird that in that scene had 3 full songs to it.
Yeah, I don't know what the point of the singing was.
I
Anyway.
mean, you could tell.
And he didn't even wince when he poured alcohol over him and all over his face, so it would have gotten in his eyes, and there was burning, and he was just laying there calmly as he was being spritzed by I shouldn't say spritzed, doused in alcohol.
Gasoline.
Gasoline. So yeah, that was weird. Like, you literally have gasoline pouring into your eyes, but you're just laying there normally. Anyway, you were saying.
I mean, at that point, you got to feel like you're numb, and you're tied up. You know,
It's gasoline. At a minimum, it smells. At a maximum, it burns.
I mean, yes. Oof. Yeah, I think you play ball well before you get to this point, and you're just like, you want to talk? Let's talk. You get the upper hand until I'm untied.
Yeah.
We'll deal with the authorities once I'm untied.
Yeah. I don't know. You keep going. You're taking the lead on this, because I wouldn't have done this episode. I just thought this was just a horrible waste of my time.
I mean, what if you're okay? You're at a concert. You're supposed to sing,
Okay.
and you're kind of having a bad time of it,
Yeah.
and you're like, I don't wanna.
Yeah. You just.
And your manager's like, they paid. A lot of people they're paid to see you. They wanna.
Yeah. And then when that doesn't work, then you give him a bunch of snorts of Coke, and then your guy goes out, sings, and then kind of has a breakdown mid-song and leaves. So that didn't work out too well.
See, here's the thing.
So if I'm the manager and I want to get someone to play, yeah, I guess I do definitely work the ego and also the responsibility of the fans. And I don't know. I mean, I would assume there's a decent amount of drugs in that environment as well. So that's probably a somewhat common response to those kind of situations.
Here's the thing. If I'm able and I'm supposed to be out there singing and I don't want to.
I don't wanna.
Tough shit.
Yeah, well,
that's listen, you are extremely well compensated for what you do.
Well, what comes to mind is the recent cancellation that Justin Timberlake had of a concert, and he canceled last minute, and boy, did he have some blowback.
What?
So
Wait,
he said he was sick. I certainly don't know if that's true or not, but he
was
said
last
he was
minute, like before or after people were at the arena?
I believe it was the day of. Don't hold me to it, but I believe it was definitely not expected, not any sort of significant warning or advance notice or anything like that.
I mean, if you're legitimately sick and you can't, like, if you physically can't go, like, I get that. We have
if you're
frail
sick,
human vessels.
If you're sick, though, I mean, you better be hugging a toilet.
Oh yeah. Not. Oh, I have the sniffles. You need to be like,
I cannot stand up. I have a fever. I'm sweating. I'm chilling. I cannot move.
Yeah, because
I cannot perform, because then it's beyond singing. Like, you can't perform.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The manager even was like, "Hey, you could lip sync.
Right.
We could make this work if you can't sing."
Right.
So it wasn't that he just didn't want to perform. So yeah, you still have to be able to move and
Yeah,
be the
they're
showman on stage.
Exactly.
So,
Okay, what else you got?
oh, man, I don't know. I've got a lot more here. I mean,
Don't see this movie, people.
if I'm the girl,
don't go to a
I'm not
theater
burning down
anyway.
random houses.
Well, I'd much rather her burn down a random house than start a fire in a freaking hotel room with how many hundreds of or thousands of people in that building. Crazy wacko. And again, what was the truth she was trying to get to? She kept saying, well, just tell me the truth and tell me everything. And just none of this made sense to me.
She wanted vulnerability out of him, and that you could tell that's what she wanted. Like,
I couldn't tell. That's my whole point.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what she...
Okay, I could tell. All she wanted was him to be vulnerable. He wanted her to open up. She wanted to be special. She wanted to be the person who knew.
She's a little
what was-
firebug. She's...
Oh, yeah. No,
she's special in her own way.
Oh, yeah, no, she's psycho. She completely psycho. But that's what she wanted. She's one of those people who needs to feel special, and
I'm so very special, but she's
the creep.
We hope you enjoyed our episode. Thank you for listening. And to catch all the new episodes, please subscribe. We release 2 to 3 episodes weekly, so we'll have new content regularly. Until next time.